We've got Kathleen and Sam who are joining us, and in both cases, I don't want to slaughter their last names. So, Kathleen, I want to start with you. Say I've known you forever, but I don't want to slaughter your last name. I'm wiping away the tears here. I get emotional about it. Tell us what your full name is and what your title is at Skills Global.
Certainly. Good morning. I'm Kathleen Pelaez, rhymes with the boy's name Elias, and I am the product manager at Skills Global.
Well, thank you. And I love these, like, are those Mickey ears on the back? Those are so fabulous. And then Sam is also joining us. And Sam, I don't want to slaughter your name. So tell us what your full name is and what your position is at Skills Global.
Good morning, Shannon. My name is Sam Aghabi, and I am an account executive here with Skills. We're certainly excited to be here. You've certainly been the talk of Skills Global here for the last 2 weeks or so.
Oh, dear. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I know that I love you guys and I love what you do. Sometimes it's hard to describe to people what you guys do because Skills Global, what you guys do encompasses so many different things that I think that's the biggest problem, is saying to people definitively what it is. I tell people it's the online toolkit for autism, but that does not even begin to cover it. So who wants to be the person to say generally explain to people what Skills Global is?
You know, I'd be happy to jump in here, Shannon. Ultimately, Skills Global is going to be a one-stop shop for anyone working with a learner on the spectrum. And I feel that term is lightly used within the technology community in ABA, where with Skills, we really do have everything: an assessment linked to a curriculum. We have the trainings. Things of that nature make us that complete ABA workflow. And in particular for for our parents, Skills is going to enable them to be the therapists themselves, right? And you really touched on that commitment to excellence that ABA demands. No clinician can tell us when a kiddo is going to achieve a skill, but what we can control is our energy and effort and enthusiasm that goes into teaching. What Skills will give us is everything that we need to be the teacher and the therapist ourselves.
Which is amazing. Any day of the week, that's amazing. But in COVID, it's especially amazing. Should we talk about what your COVID response is, or do you want to go through what some of the different things, some of the different tools that you guys offer? What do you want to talk about first?
I think that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kathleen.
Well, I think it's, in talking about what we offer, it's important to mention that everything is based in these, in 30 years of clinical research and expertise. And it's that knowledge that backs the products that we make, whether we're talking about skills with an assessment and a curriculum, or we're talking about IBT, which offers training courses for parents and professionals on the spectrum. I think it's important to remember that the quality that we bring has 30 years of clinical research and expertise behind it.
Absolutely. But I really want to make sure people know too that the things that you guys do, and you touched on this a little bit, Sam, parents can use this. But it's not just parents that can use this. Teachers can use this, and professionals in the ABA world can and do use skills and IBT. So it's all different levels that can use it. And I love that you guys have a way that things are geared towards those different professionals. Because if you're a parent, let's be honest, you could be watching the show and learning the jargon, but sometimes, you're at the beginning and you really aren't interested in knowing everything that an expert knows. So you guys have things that are just for parents. But for those parents who are like those rock star parents who go, okay, I went through all of the trainings, I understand how I'm using skills, I want to know the more advanced skills. I love the fact that you guys allow them access to that and say, equal opportunity here. What do you want to learn? I think that is just one of the 1,000 things that I find remarkable about you guys. But let's talk about COVID, because this has been I mean, what's the word that we want to use? This has been remarkable. I don't think anybody foresaw that we were going to be in this circumstance. And now we are just getting ready to crest the 1 year mark and we're not done. And for families who have one or more person on the autism spectrum, this really put a crimp in services. We worked so hard in the early aughts to make sure that people had access to insurance. We had just gotten to 50 states here in the United States that had mandates to pay for ABA therapy. And then all of a sudden, people lost their therapy. Talk to us about why IBT and skills have been so important in COVID and some of the things that you guys have done to make sure that people had access.
Absolutely, Shannon. We've definitely gone through a turbulent year here ourselves at Skills, and we feel the pain. It's been a battle. In regards to skills specifically, we have to remember that the assessment is based on psychometric research. So immediately, our parents are taking the role of the BCBA, how great it is to assess our own child, right? We're going to link that particular assessment directly to a teaching curriculum that's in layman terms. And whether it's parents that are not comfortable in proceeding with telehealth or that are in rural areas or that simply cannot afford ABA services, it's a resource that will, again, enable us to not only become the therapist, but do the assessment ahead of time. And what many times I challenge my parents to understand is what it takes to put together a curriculum for a kiddo. Right, where our BCBAs are using multiple assessment tools, going back and writing SDs and responses, and spending thousands of hours at times doing such, right? Where skills makes the magic happen in that sense, where we have the curriculum in-house. For viewers of your show, of course, we are offering a discount into Skills, our clinical software. And in regards to IBT, we're constantly keeping up here and updating the specific courses that we're offering. Currently, for our parents, we are offering school readiness skills, and for our educators, impact on the classroom. And again, it's a guide, and our team of BCBAs put together, create, and produce these trainings, and they are audience specific, right? Meaning if we're speaking to a parent, that in particular is the audience that we're creating that training for. And we want them to be fun. We want them to be engaging. We want you to follow along. We continue to encourage viewers to reach out to us and to tune into your show to see what updates we're making and continue to make.
Wonderful. And Kathleen, we had a viewer who just logged in and they were like, I want to know, can we reintroduce Kathleen? I love, we've already got other viewers who are saying that you are the project manager at Skills, that you're driving software development. Can you talk to us just for 2 seconds about what that means? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. As a product manager, my role is to oversee the product lifecycle of the different products that we produce. So that means planning for a new product and overseeing its development, its testing, its release, its maximization, and eventually its retirement. Its retirement is part of that life cycle. So we build it, we use it, and then we kill it. And I, on a day-to-day basis, talk with the different skills customers and IBT customers about what new features they might like to see, what new material might they like to have in IBT, and then we plan for it. So it's a job I really like because I get to talk to people who use our products each and every day, and then I get to teach the development team how to build what we need. I'm not a developer, and they're not ABA specialists, so we get to have conversations about why something is needed in the software. What really are we addressing so that it's built properly? And it's a real gift that I get to imagine. I get to interpret. And I get to really drive and oversee the development of each and every one of our products, as well as our enhancements, and maintain the softwares on a routine basis.
Which is incredible and absolutely wonderful, and I thank you for everything that you're doing. I kind of just want to go through, because I think that, sometimes we get, we're talking so high above, and people go, but I don't know what I would do with this. So for all of the parents that are sitting at home and you're like, I don't know how to teach my child, I don't know what to teach my child. So the IBT, which is the Institute for Behavioral Training, has a whole plethora of videos that you can choose from to learn how to teach, the how of the thing. And they have, I think, the dream team of experts. These are e-learning video modules that are so fascinating. I love how inexpensive they are. Like, you couldn't, if you wanted to go take a college class on something, you would have all of these different difficulties, that it wasn't the subject quite that you wanted, because there would be this big overview and you'd be like, no, I just want to know how to teach my child how to, for instance, mand. How do I get my child to request things? And you wouldn't want to go take a whole college class to be able to do that. You just want to know how to do that. You'd love to have an expert to sit directly in front of you and explain, this is how we do this. Here are the important points that we do it. And you might want to rewind so that you could watch it again and again and again. And then you might go, this was so great, I'd like to bring my babysitter in and have them watch it. This is exactly what you can do with IBT. And you can pick the time that you're doing. It's all self-directed, so that people can be watching it at 3:00 in the morning. But give us the idea about, because people go, oh, but there's a cost for it. So if you're paying for the college course for it, that would be really expensive. If you bought a book for it, a book would cost you what? At least, $25 at this point. But what's the range right now on what they pay for? How much is it to pay for an IBT module?
Shannon, we have courses that run for $7.50. And I think it comes back to what you mentioned. What's most important to the kiddo? What's most important to the family? And that's a common theme that I look upon for either IBT or skills. For IBT, we want to drill down to the specifics and begin there, and begin to grow, right? Grow from that point. With skills, we can teach approximately 4,000 skills, right? So what is it that you want to identify? And let's start there. We'll sit our parents down with our training team so that you can learn how to become the software expert. My advice and recommendation is to pick 3 to 5 skills. Begin to work there with your child, learn how to become the therapist. And we also have to remember that the kiddo is going to be in a period of adjustment where, wow, mom is working with me like this now, or dad is working with me like this now.
But the IBT videos will teach you about that, about overcoming some of that, dealing with that.
Absolutely.
We got people, hang on one second, Sam. We got people writing in saying IBT is amazing, exclamation point. I've learned so much. We have started ABA ourselves while we were on a waiting list, life-changing for us. Another person says, I love skills and IBT. I can attest for both. I use IBT for my RBT course and passed my exam on the very first try. So you've got some other fans besides me who are here. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we always want to interrupt for compliments. But you were saying, Sam?
No, you're absolutely fine. And I think it was speaking to that point of accreditation. Our videos are made with care, right? And they are made with the intent to help. And that's why we're currently doing what we're doing to help support the community. We're not in particular getting anything out of this. What we want to do, most importantly, is to support the community in this time of turbulence.
Wonderful. I do want to address, we've got a couple of questions that are here, but then I want to talk a little bit about skills, you guys. So one of our viewers has said, We are a skills member, but we're not card because of our location. Our 8-year-old with ASD does get ABA, and I'm trying to get the BCBA to work with skills. Right now, I print things I think he hasn't mastered, and I take them to the BCBA, and the BCBA tells me if they are mastered or not. Is this what we should be doing to continue guiding his therapy? And thanks for what you do. Oh, Kathleen, you are muted. Can you unmute
Not
yourself?
anymore.
There we go. Thank you.
I think that question came from Johanny. And the neat thing about skills is that it's going to ascertain what your child needs to learn. When you complete the assessment, you're telling skills what your child can and cannot do. And then skills says, well, based on what information you've given the program, here are activities to teach those skills that your child needs to learn. And here is a logical order to teach them in. So I think it would be a great idea to share the skills assessment, the results of the skills assessment at the lesson level. And if you go on the left-hand side of the screen to the progress tab, there is a lesson assessment link that will show you what percentage for each and every lesson in skills. And those of you that use skills, you know, that's a lot of lessons. And you can also print out suggested activities. So when you go to the treatment section for each curriculum, there are 8 different curricula in the skills program, you're going to see a list of activities. Now, this is a menu. You couldn't possibly teach all of these activities at one time, but it is presented in a suggested sequence for instruction. And if you click on each, it'll show you what the prerequisite skills are as well. So you can ensure that you're teaching these skills in the appropriate order. And I would suggest sharing that with your BCBA. And here's something that's really cool about skills. You pay for skills by child, not user. So you can absolutely go to the admin section of your skills software and add another user. That way the BCBA themselves can log into the skills system, can contact us for training on how to use it, and access all of the information, all of that award-winning curriculum and the program to help assist your child with their learning.
How sweet is that? Because I think that that's really remarkable, and I would really encourage you to do that with the BCBA and show them what it is that you're doing. Because here's the thing: the BCBAs that are using skills will tell you that there's a slight learning curve to be able to use the software, but once they get it, and it's very quickly, they go, oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life? It supercharges what they are able to do, and they can get things done faster. So absolutely, you know, there are so many more ABA providers and BCBAs who are using skills because it allows them to do what they do and takes away a lot of the things that they have to stress over. But I think it's like the cape. It gives them the ability to be the superhero. They're still driving the bus, but all of the things that are hard for a BCBA, I think skills makes it easier for them. So I don't think it's anything that they wouldn't be thrilled about taking a look at, is basically what I'm saying.
I think it's good to mention, oh, sorry.
No, you go right ahead.
I think it's good to mention too that something that we offer that nobody else does is the training. Call us. There's a link in the software itself where you can send us a little note that says, I'd like to learn about skills. And one of our implementation specialists, we have a terrific implementation staff that are all experts in the skills system, and they'll set up a one-on-one appointment with you over video chat and screen share to train you how to use the system. There are videos in the system itself to train different portions of it. But if you need someone to show you how to use it, we've got someone to show you how to use it.
There we go. And I just want to say about the skills assessment from the point of view of a parent. There are so many things that skills can do, right? I always say it's like Disneyland, and that, you don't go to Disneyland and go, I'm going to try to do everything in Disneyland in 4 hours. You can't. And you wouldn't enjoy yourself if you did try to do that. But I think it's great to start with skills and just use one thing at a time and learn what it does and to have the benefit of it. And then when you say, okay, now next I need this other thing. So the assessment is a great place to start. How many of us are sitting in a place where we're like, I wish I knew where my child was. I wish that an expert could tell me that your child, we talk all the time about where is their expressive language, where is their receptive language, which one is higher, because we can teach more effectively if we know. But the reality of being a parent is that you try to find an expert who will pin down and show you exactly where your child is. They don't want to. They don't want to give you that information. Skills, the assessment gives you exactly that information. You answer questions. And as Sam said, this has been researched and it's been found to be wildly effective that a parent can answer these questions and have it be a very accurate depiction of where the child is. So, which I just think that it is the most brilliant thing. It alone could on its own would be life changing if you just do the assessment to know where your child is. I would say we go to the mall and the mall says you are here on maps, every place you are here, and oh, okay, I'm here, I'm at JCPenney, I want to get to Macy's, and you can chart your course. Nobody wants to tell us my child is right here. Skills, if you'll take the time, it's an investment in yourself and in your child. If you'll take the time to answer the questions, you will get an accurate depiction of here is where your child is, and you will be a more effective teacher, and everybody on their team will be more effective. You will stop wasting time teaching something that is not what your child needs to learn right now. So I love the skills assessment for this. Absolutely love it. And skills gives you the ability to do that on your time, which is a really wonderful thing. But then once you know where your child is, then you do want to chart the course. And skills has, I mean, I remember a time when we were saying it had over 4,000 targets. I'm sure it's well beyond that now. What would you estimate, you guys? Is there even a number now, or is it just off the chart?
Between the two skills programs, skills developing for children and skills living for teens transitioning to adulthood and for adults, we're looking at about 6,000 activities. And within that, you would have thousands of targets. Individual teaching targets were probably well up into the range of 10, 15, 20,000 individual targets. Sky is the limit on that because you can add your own as well. So if you're teaching individual targets in a lesson, say non-vocal imitation, sure, there are about 30, 35, maybe 40 targets there in the lesson for you. But if there are other actions that you would like to teach your child to imitate, you can add as many as you like. Sky's the limit.
Okay. Somebody's asking, I would love one-on-one help to use skills. I'm comfortable with IBT. However, skills is like Disney World because Disneyland is smaller. So I love that distinction. Thank you for correcting me. It's like Disney World because it does have different, I think maybe you're right, Disney World.
Yeah.
But so is there, and let's answer this question in two different ways. Is there one-on-one help for skills if you are a card family? And is there one-on-one help with skills if you are not a card family?
If you are a card family, I recommend talking to your child's clinical supervisor. And if you are a non-card family, you're going to click a button on the left side of the screen of any page of skills that says request training. You can call us at 877-975-4559. Leave us a message. We're not in the office right now, so leave us a message and we will get back to you to schedule that training. You can send us an email at training@skillsglobal.com, and one of our implementation specialists will respond to you and set up a one-on-one training.
Okay. Traven, can you put that number back up on the screen again? because correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, that's the same number if they want to get any of the free IBT training or training modules, or if they want to get the discount. If you're watching Autism Live and you want to get a 10% discount on skills, all you have to do is say you saw it on Autism Live. I always tell them, say you're friends with Shannon, tell them you want the friends and family discount, because I think that's hilarious. I don't know why I think that's hilarious, but I'm just weird that way. There is no friends and family discount, but let's pretend there is. But there is a 10% discount if you're watching us on Skills. So maybe that is the friends and family discount. And you can also get access to those every week on Ask Dr. Doreen. We talk about the free training that's being offered for caregivers and the free training that's being offered that week for educators. And then we also talk about your wonderful RBT training. But somebody else says all of the parent modules are so helpful. I think it's so helpful. I have them and they help us so much, which is really wonderful. So we really love that you guys are using them, because in COVID, this is there's a real need, you guys, and you're filling a need. I just think that's one of the highest callings, to fill a need. Okay, so I want to talk though for a second that you do the assessment on skills, and that's wonderful, but then you want to know what to teach, and you can move over into the curriculum. And depending on if there's skills living, and what did you say that the other one is called? Is that skills growing? What is the younger one?
Developing.
Skills developing. Okay, so depending on the age of the individual, you would be in skills developing, or if it was an older individual, what's the cutoff age, Kathleen, for skills living?
Well, there's not really a definitive cutoff age, because it depends on where your learner is as compared to the developmental norms, right?
Okay.
So, but if we need to specify an age, about 12 to 13 years old would be a terrific time to transition over to skills living. For a learner that's 14 years old, as you know, at least here in the state of California, along with an IEP, we also have to start developing their plan for transitioning to adulthood. So that's a terrific time to bring on skills living, because you have a lot of life skills types of activities in there: how to catch a bus, how to call an Uber or a taxi, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of great stuff in there for adults.
Love it. But that's all the things that are skill acquisition. And what I truly love about it is that I'm a former teacher, and when my child wasn't learning, on my worst day, I thought that my child was incapable of learning. And I learned that with the same curriculum, my son had the curriculum that is in skills. I learned that my child could learn, but then I didn't know where to start. So the CARD assessment, or I had services through CARD who were using skills and IBT. But you don't have to be a CARD family to have access to that. You can use the skills assessment to know where your child is, and then begin to look at what's age appropriate, what's skill appropriate for them to learn, to acquire all the skills that they need. But there's a whole other part of skills that is about behavior intervention and having a behavior intervention plan. So tell us a little bit about what that area of skills looks like, because it's brilliant. It's genius.
Thank you, Shannon. Specifically with our BIP module, it is a research and evidence-based tool within skills that's first going to help us identify the hypothesized function of behavior. Why is my child exhibiting such behavior? And we're going to sync the hypothesized function of behavior to research-based interventions that we can use for teaching. And across skills, I like to describe it as a Google library of ABA. What skill is it that we want to teach? We would be able to identify that skill and any prerequisites that come before to make sure that we're on appropriate track for progress. And same thing with our BIPs, where we can go ahead and enter into skills the target behavior, and it will populate with a series of 35 questions where we would indicate our level of agreement with a particular statement. And those series of questions, again, are going to provide us with the hypothesized function of behavior. Now, this is a clinical-based tool, and we will advise for our parents to consult with a clinician in regards to the BIP. Now, a potential workaround here is through the Institute of Behavioral Training, we have modules specific to behavior management and overcoming challenging behaviors. In the last few years here, I've met with hundreds of families that adore you and adore your show. And of course, I tend to agree. And really, it's specific to the family. I do have families that we partner with that have a BCBA in-house, where they have a team of analysts in-house, where they're working together. And you touched on this a bit earlier. Skills allows for that multidisciplinary approach to teaching. Kathleen mentioned that we can have as many users as we want on one account for one child, be it mom, dad, grandpa, school psychologist, speech therapist, etc. As we are based on developmental norms, we can all be on the same page here. And that efficiency within skills is really what's helping us achieve that type of fidelity that we're looking for.
And we're running out of time here. We literally have 30 seconds here. But if people want more information, where do you want them to go?
I would recommend that they email us directly at training@ibehavioraltraining.com. You can reach us at 877-975-4559. And I kindly suggest to book a demonstration with us. We want to hear your story. We do care. And we're going to tailor a demonstration according to your needs and specify and work with you in regards to what may be the best fit for you and your kiddo.
Wonderful. We did have somebody who wrote in who had sent me an email the other day. They saw on the show about the RBT training. I just want to say to Sajal, I batch those. So I just got that email to them yesterday. It's not Skill's fault. It's my fault. They just got the request yesterday and you should be hearing from them very soon. There's so much where everybody's saying you need to come back because we barely gotten through things. You know why we barely got through things? Because I get so excited talking about it and I took all the time. But it's true. I love me some skills in IBT. And why do I love it? Because I think it gives the power to the person who wants the information. And that's what we need in this day and age. So I love you guys. I love what you do. I think that it has the power. I know it has the power to change lives. I've watched it happen. So let's have you come back. Let's talk more about the wonderful things that you guys do, because I could talk about skills and IBT all day and all night and be really excited. Maybe that's what I should do for a weight loss program, is just talk about skills and IBT so that I have no time to stick anything in my mouth. All right. Absolutely adore you guys. Thank you so much. Give our love to everybody on the team for the wonderful things that you're doing for families around the world. Definitely. What's the best website to go to, you guys?
Skillsforautism.com.
And that's the word for, not the letter for, correct?
Correct.
Skills for FOR, autism.com. And then you can also go to ibehavioraltraining.com. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to push buttons and look, you guys, and ask for help and support. These people love to be helpful and supportive. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.